Well, hello. This is Dr. Nicholson, your instructor for pre-calculus, and this is an introduction to how the class works. So this is all based on Canvas, which is a new learning management system. So first thing you're going to have to do is log into Blackboard. Oh, actually, I don't know what we call it now. Log into my Dabney. And yours will look slightly different than this, but you'll have a Canvas link. So we'll click on Canvas, and you should see all your courses listed here. One of them should be pre-calculus. So we click on that link. So when you first get into the course, you're going to have this kind of welcoming screen. So there's a link here to an introduction to the course. It's fairly short. There's this video which I'll upload after I'm finished. There's the course of study, which will go through the modules, which is the basic framework for progressing through the course, my office hours, and a tentative schedule. So let's start here with the course of study. So it's a PDF file, so if you want to look at it or print it out, you can. So this is Pre-Calculus 1, which most people take Pre-Calculus 1 and Pre-Calculus 2 as a prerequisite for calculus. But some people take Pre-Calculus 1 and then an applied calculus if they're going to business. So you can see here, there's the details. Here's my office, phone number, email. And basically the first semester is dealing with algebra, specifically that is needed in calculus. So we'll talk about power functions, polynomials, rational functions, exponential and logarithmic functions. We'll talk about systems of equations. And to get into this class, you had to have passed MTE 1 through 9 or demonstrated through placement that you satisfied that prerequisite. And some of you may be taking MCR 6, which is a support class for people who haven't completed all of the MTEs at this point. So we have 15 weeks. And we basically covered chapters 1, 2, 3, and 8 with these titles. Here's some objectives. You can read through that. I've emailed you the link for the textbook, which is 6th or higher edition of Pre-Calculus. You should be able to get the 6th edition, but if you want the 7th or 8th or 9th, if you find somebody with that book, you can use that, because the homework problems will be given to you separately. So this is more as a reference that you need to have for reading. We'll talk about office hours. The key thing here in terms of the individual instructor policy is that you need to do a good job on your homework, which means showing all your work and doing it neatly, not just answers. If you turn in a paper just has answers with no work, then that will not be acceptable. Now for the online class, I'm going to ask that you turn in your homework when you take your tests. So there are going to be 3 or 4 tests, and you'll turn in chapter 1 homework when you take chapter 1 test, and so forth. Now I may have some interactive homework that I'll assign that you can do online. I don't have that in yet, but I'm going to be working on that. The grading consists of basically 4 components: tests, homework, attendance, and the final exam. So the question is, how do I judge attendance? And I will let you know that. As far as I think I'm going to be able to to see whether you have viewed the videos or not. That's basically what it's going to be associated with watching the videos of the material. So most everything's tests or final exam, but homework is still worth 20%. So if you don't do the homework, in general, you're not going to do well enough to have a transferable grade. So you do want to do your homework, and the homework allows you to, say, get a D average on the test, but still get a C in the class. So, and there's no reason that you can't do the homework, as you'll see later. And we use a 10-point grading scale. Oh yes, now remember. So attendance, what I'm going to ask you to do is take notes for each lecture, and then there will be a place where you can upload your notes. So you'll take a picture with your phone, then you'll, and we may have to make a change if you have an iPhone to make sure it's in the correct format, but and I'll post a video on that. But attendance will be determined by you sending me your notes as far as the picture is concerned. Like I said, I'll send you a separate video on explaining how to do that. And the testing, this is the one thing you'll have to come to campus for, and you can take the tests either at the main campus library or at the testing center at the Rockbridge Center. You're allowed to bring one cheat sheet for each test. You can also bring a calculator, but you're not allowed to use the graphing capabilities on your calculator. You could also bring some blank paper. And you must show all steps as discussed in class in terms of how to work a problem to receive credit. And I'll give you about a week's notice of when you'll need to be taking the test so that you can make sure you're prepared. Now for the final, you can bring in all of the previous cheat sheets, so you want to keep those and don't lose them, or you're going to have to redo the review sheets. And here's some information I'm not going to go over individually, but you can read it because you're responsible for it. Scholastic dishonesty, basically cheating. The withdrawal policy, so if you withdraw, you can, if you're doing poorly in the class, you can withdraw and it'll show up as a W instead of as a poor grade, but you have to do it before a certain date that is specified in the academic calendar. And the same thing here with satisfactory academic progress. You won't have to worry about weather or emergency closings because you're taking the class as an online student. So that's the course of study, so please look through that. The office hours, again, this is a PDF file. So you can see my schedule here, and basically my office hours are from 11 to 1 every day of the week. I can also schedule online office hours, and we can use a program called Zoom so that you can hear me and see me and I can answer your questions. So there's no reason not to get help from me. There's also a new tutoring program which I'll show you where you can access that. So there's online tutoring with someone other than me. That's available to all students. The tentative schedule, you can kind of look at this, and you can, it's an Excel file, and you can see here the dates. So the first test probably about the middle part of September. Right here I've just got 3 tests and then the final material, and the rest of the material from the previous part of the semester will be included on the final, which is in December. Now I'll kind of keep track of your progress by the notes that you send me as far as the notes that you take. Okay, now the main thing here in terms of the content is in the modules section. So what we have is we have it arranged by chapter, so that it'll tell you to read the material first. Read chapter 1, graphs of equations. There's a video that you'll watch. Right now this is shown as a link, so let me just click on it. So it comes up as a video, and you watch the video and you take notes. And then after you've watched read the book, watched the lecture, there is a PDF file which you can download. So you can see here somewhere you can download this this file. Download up here, so you can download it and print it out. And this is the homework associated with each section in the book. So you'll finish that. Now the homework you'll hand in. The lecture notes, I'll show you where to post those. So you got read, watch the lecture, do the homework, read, watch the lecture, do the homework. And when you finish that first chapter, there'll be a review video. You watch the review video, you'll make your cheat sheet up, and you'll take the test, and then you turn in the homework. So that's kind of the process. Now, where do you upload your notes? So if you go to assignments, you'll see that I don't see it, so I'm gonna have to create this. This is copied from a previous semester. So what I'll do is I will create a link here in the modules part where you'll click on the assignment, and then it'll ask you to upload the notes. I'll create a separate video with that one once I get it completed. And I'll also, if you have an iPhone, I want you to change the resolution of the images or the way it's stored so that I can actually see the files. Okay, so that is it. I think I'm going to include a little assignment where you introduce yourself. So I will put that into this sequence. So probably you'll see by next Wednesday, you will see a link here that'll say introduce yourself, probably through a discussion board. And then I'm going to insert after each lecture an assignment where you can upload your notes. So again, there's the homework, which you'll turn in the tests. There's the tests. There's the attendance, which are the notes, and there's a final exam, which is at the end of the semester. And one final note here is that after you've, if you look on the module section, after the material has been presented and the homework assignment has been made, there are videos for the solutions for each homework set. So what you should do is try to solve them yourself, but if you get stuck, then you can go to the tab after the chapter and click on the thing to expand it, and you'll see it says homework graphs of equations. So this is a video showing you how to solve the problems in the homework assignment for that first section. And all these others are the other sections. So that's one reason that you will definitely get 100 on your homework if you want to, because I've already shown you all the homework solutions. Now, if you just copy the homework solutions down, that is not going to be the most effective way of trying to learn the material. So it's up to you to use it correctly, which is to try the problems without the videos. If you get stuck, then you can watch the videos. Even if you watch the videos, don't just be copying them down. Be listening to what I'm saying. So that's another requirement, is listen to what I say. If all you do is copy the homework down with the sound turned off, you're only going to get about 50% of the useful information out of the video. So it is a video, but it is me talking, giving you additional insight into how to solve the problems. So again, that's up to you. It'll ultimately be reflected in your test scores. So you might say, well, I can get 100 on my homework. Yes, but if you do poorly on your tests, then that's not really that effective strategy. Okay, so that's it. I will, well, actually, I've done this since I originally recorded the class, so I've started including these additional items that says upload chapter 1 graphs of equations notes. So if you do that, then you will be able to attach a file, your video, your image files, and then those will be uploaded to me, and I'll review them to see that you've actually done a decent job of taking notes to confirm that you have watched the lecture. But also another tidbit here is that the process of listening to the video and writing it on a piece of paper is a way of making that information more permanent in your brain. So if you just listen to something without doing anything, you're going to learn a small amount. If you listen to the video and you transcribe the information onto a piece of paper, it's going to be much more effective at you retaining and understanding information. So again, that's why it's good to listen to the lecture, try to understand it, not just use the lecture and turn the sound off again and copy what you see on the lecture. It's the verbal descriptions are critical in understanding what I'm talking about. So there are shortcuts that you can get by to get 5% attendance and 20% homework, but if you fail the tests, it's all for naught. So that is your decision, and hopefully you will choose the correct one.